Good Tuesday evening. It's August 19th, 2025, and today certainly has been a damp one for much of central and eastern Newfoundland. That's certainly a good thing. It's also been smoky. We'll get to that in just a second. Tonight's forecast is sponsored by Heat Pump Solutions. Beat the heat and get a mini split from Heat Pump Solutions. Visit heatpumpsolutions.ca for more. Look at the time lapse from downtown over New Gower Street. You can see around 9 o'clock the visibility dropped a bit. It dropped again around midday, and that was actually smoke from the Kingston fire moving right over the northeast Avalon. What you're looking at there is a measure of atmospheric pollutants, or PM 2.5. And that spike there around midday, that was a smoke moving overhead. That was very noticeable earlier in the day. Not so noticeable now, as after about 1, 2 o'clock, the air quality greatly improved, and so we've certainly lost that smoky smell. And when we're talking about the Kingston fire, we can see where it's burning as we look at this chart here. So this is a map of hot spots the fire has put out over the last 24 hours. You can also see where it is in relation to the northeast Avalon, due northwest. Northwest winds push that smoke right over St. John's. Zooming in, we can see the hot spots in the fire over the last 24 hours, and you'll notice those orange boxes there on the left-hand side of the fire, or the west and southwest side. That is where it's been most active. The red area is the rough fire perimeter that I was able to find from the Canadian Wildfire Information Services. It's not exact, it's rough, and the fire is, in its entirety, over 10,000 hectares in size, closing in almost on 11,000 hectares in size. It's a large area that has burned. But again, the concentration of the burning over the last couple of days has been kind of on the west and southwest flank of the fire, where it's inland, the terrain is a bit hilly, it's fairly remote. It's a fairly remote area of the Bay de Verde Peninsula. But it's also not that far from the Heart's Content Barrens. Route 74 goes right through there, which is why I've seen some dramatic photos from that area over the last couple of nights. The Premier said today the fire isn't posing a direct threat right now to any communities, and let's hope it stays that way, especially because we're seeing rain in that area as I'm recording this. We can see that very nicely here on the radar as of 4:30 this afternoon, and it's raining heavily just to the west of Western Bay right now. I hope that rain just sits there for hours on end. The heaviest rain at the moment looks like it is over the Conception Bay Avalon Peninsula North area. And as we have gone through the last few hours, we can see that rain working its way from north to south and also a little bit to the east, as the area of low pressure driving this rain is beginning to work its way off to the east as well, and that will be something that continues this evening. So while we are seeing heavy rain right now in some areas, it may not last that much longer. Behind the low, the weather's not too bad across much of Atlantic Canada, and that will be the case across much of the province as we go throughout the day tomorrow. So here's future radar and satellite. By midnight, the bulk of the rain is done with for most areas, but we're still seeing showers in the Avalon Peninsula, Bonavista Vista Peninsula, northeast coast, and back to parts of central and scraping southern Labrador. The showers may persist in that area through about 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Thereafter, we'll see a noticeable decrease in the showers and perhaps even a return to sunshine as we get into the second half of the day for eastern areas of Newfoundland, while central, west, south, and much of Labrador will see a mix of sun and cloud on our Wednesday. Additional rainfall, take this with kind of a grain of salt, but the computer is not putting down more than a few millimeters in most areas except along the northeast coast, Fogo Island up toward Lumsden, where 5 to 10 millimeters looks to be in the forecast. Areas further south and east don't look to be nearly as prolific. But sometimes the computer doesn't do a great job of picking up heavy showers, which we're seeing now. It's quite cool across much of Atlantic Canada. The heat is well down to our southwest. You can see there as of 4:30. Temperatures across most of the island are about 15 degrees colder or more in some areas than this time last week. Lows tonight in Labrador, 5 to 10 on the island, 7 to 12 roughly. And then for your day tomorrow, temperatures south and southwest on the island are going to be warmest in the offshore flow near 20. Coolest north and east in the onshore northwesterly flow or northerly flow. And same thing for coastal Labrador, going to be coolest on the coast and warmest in the west. If you're looking for your 7-day forecast, simply get the Sheerr Weather app. You can get it for literally any area in the province. And really in North America. Keep that in mind. Now we take a look at the tropical satellite. This is Hurricane Erin down to Category 2, now moving northwest at 16. It has begun to turn away from the tropics, and the forecast here over the next 5 days or so will continue to take Erin kind of away from the tropics and towards the eastern seaboard of the U.S. and close-ish to Atlantic Canada. But as it looks now, the track is still going to remain to the southeast of Newfoundland as we go into Saturday and Sunday, but something to be aware of, that there is going to be either a hurricane or an extratropical storm nearby, which may not have direct impacts on the weather, but it will generate some large swells, and the agreement on this is excellent from the computer modeling. Getting back to the waves are going to be significant in size. It looks like potentially beginning Saturday morning with 3+ meter significant waves just south of Newfoundland and Labrador and affecting the maritime provinces. And then we get into those waves, it looks like Sunday into Monday. So if you have a ferry crossing scheduled between Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, certainly keep that in mind as the waves may impact this. But beyond the waves, I expect very little in direct impacts from the storm to Newfoundland and Labrador. That being said, we may see some rain or some showers on the periphery of the tropical system for southern areas of the Avalon and Burin Peninsulas, maybe Saturday into Sunday, but that's a big maybe right now. It's only Tuesday. We'll talk about that and more in my next update tomorrow morning. That'll be between 6 and 7. Before then, have a great evening. And as always, stay safe in these difficult times.